Jai Shri Ram. In the Ramayana, Valmiki, who is the son of Prachetas, a rishi, was abandoned. He got lost and he was brought up by a hunter and given the name Ratnakara. He became a good hunter, got married, had to feed his children, took to banditry, dacoitry, became a dacoit to feed his children. And one day he espied Narada walking in the forest. He thought he will loot him. Narada told him there is nothing he can offer and nothing can be looted from him. And Narada asked him, why are you doing this, whatever you are doing? So, Narada asked him, why are you doing this? To feed my family. Okay, so you are committing a lot of papam. Are your family members willing to partake in the papams that you are accumulating? Are they willing to share? So he said, hey, that's an interesting question. I'll find out. He tied Narada to a tree and he said, just wait here, I'll go and come back. There was no need to tie Narada anyway. So he went home and asked them, see, I'm a dacoit, I'm killing people, robbing, looting, and I've accumulated a lot of papam. Are you willing to share in my papam? They said, listen, the truth is, we are glad that you are taking so much care of us. But we didn't tell you to go and kill people, right? So how can we take a part or take a share of the punishment, of the consequences of the papams that you're committing? So Narada, the Ratnakara, was shocked. He understood the truth. He came back to Narada and he said he was shocked. So Narada said, yeah, that is the truth. Very good. Now that you have understood the truth, start chanting Ram Ram. You can't even utter Ram Ram. So Narada said, okay, try Mara Mara. Because you see, a hunter who is eating so much meat, chicken, mutton, the tongue has become so thick, he can't utter Rama. So he said, Mara Mara. So be careful, stop eating meat, mutton, chicken. You are a murderer if you are eating mutton and chicken, and don't make your stomach a graveyard. Please stop eating. Hinduism does not permit eating meat because every animal has a family, they all like to live, and you cannot get meat without himsa. Meat cannot be got without killing. Nobody likes to die, even the ant wants to live, and you are a murderer. And if you think by asking someone else to kill the animal you have no share in the killing, wrong. Everyone, the hunter, the person who kills, the person who cuts the joints, the meat, one who buys, one who brings, one who cooks, one who serves, and one who eats, all are equally guilty of murder. That is what the Veda says. Manusmriti echoes the same sentiment. And mamsam is nothing other than the blood of menses, menstrual blood that is solidified, is meat. Samutpattincha mamsasya. Manu says the same thing. So stop eating. And because if you eat meat, you may pretend to be a kind hearted person, but there's no kindness in that. The heart will become so callous and hardened, indurated. There's no question of any kindness there. So people will pretend. That's a different thing. Pretense, we can all pretend to be anything. So Ratnakara could not even utter Rama. I notice when I talk about Ramayana or slokas from Ramayana or Bhagavad Gita, I can make out from the expressions or when people's eyes glaze over, they're bored, they're not interested. Whereas every time I listen to Ramayana, every time I listen to even the same sloka in Bhagavad Gita, there is some strange joy and a whole new insight also. Because it can't even be explained. Stop eating meat. So Ratnakara could not utter Rama. So Narada said, okay, utter Mara. So he sat down and started uttering Mara, 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 Mara. Mara became Rama. Mara reverses Rama. And for several years he was chanting. And ant hills grew up all over his body. And ant hills in Sanskrit is called Valmiki. So Brahma came, and one day he shook him out of the anthill and told him, "Hey, you are in an anthill. So from today I will call you Valmiki." So that's how Ratnakar became Valmiki, a total transformation. So Valmiki's life is a lesson in total transformation, inner transformation, from a bandit to a Brahmarishi. Wow. And all because of chanting the word Rama. In fact, Mara. He could not chant Rama, so even Mara worked wonderfully. So finally, Valmiki. And then Brahma told him, "Okay, you are Mr. Valmiki from now onwards." And Brahma was happy, Valmiki was happy. Valmiki said, "Okay, I'm going." So next day he was going to river Tamasa to take a bath. And after he took a bath, he was coming and he noticed two birds courting craunchas. Heron, Heron. Heron or a stork. Crane. So you can call them by any of these names: heron, stork, crane, and all that. So crauncha birds. So they were courting. They were in love. And suddenly a hunter's arrow shot the male bird dead. And Valmiki spontaneously he blurted this verse: Manishada pratishtam Tvamagama Shashwati Samaha Yat Krauncha Mithunadekam Avadhi Kamamohitam. And after uttering this verse, Valmiki himself stood wonderstruck. He was spellbound, speechless. What did I just say? Huh? At the sorrow of the female bird, because the lovelorn crauncha bird, lovelorn means bereft of a lover, bereft of love, spurned, jilted, rejected. Bereft of her lover, the female bird was weeping. And Valmiki, like an empath, EMPATH, empath means a person who has the psychic power to understand the feelings and emotions and what must have led to the sadness. So Valmiki was a great empath. He, out of the empathy that he felt, uttered this Sanskrit verse, which is the first verse in Sanskrit poetry. That is why Valmiki is known as Adikavi. He chanted, he uttered, he blurted. B-L-U-R-T. Blurt means say without thinking. It just came out of his mouth spontaneously. All because he couldn't bear to see the sight of the sorrow of the crauncha, female bird. He cursed the hunter who heartlessly shot the male bird. So what came out was not a mere curse, it was a shloka. And this shloka has a very deep meaning, very profound meaning. The literal meaning is very simple. Eternal life, O hunter, you will never attain, because you have killed, you have murdered one of the loving birds of this couple. You will never attain happiness. You will never attain eternal life, O hunter. So one straightaway meaning. Then of course Brahma comes. One straightaway meaning is, if you cause any sorrow to anybody, you will have to suffer the repercussions, which will be multifold. So don't cause any pain. But that is the simple, straightforward, superficial meaning. Next, Valmiki noticed that Brahma himself came and he said, Valmiki, it's all right, stop bothering about the birds and use this as a foundation for a nice kavya, write Ramayana, and use this as the philosophical underpinning. Now, what is the philosophical underpinning? Like one meaning I already told you. If you cause pain, intense pain, especially to a couple who are in love with each other, then you will have to suffer terrible repercussions. Okay? Prakriti and Purusha. The play of Prakriti and Purusha. Purusha is Rama. You and I are Rama actually. And Prakriti is this nature. When you are in love with the Prakriti, then the whole drama of life will unfold. And so Prakriti and Purusha are the couple. Mithuna. Mithuna means a couple. And since Prakriti itself is constantly changing, at some point of time, things will change. Joy becomes sorrow. And that is the breaking point. At which time, Purusha will again try. to get back the lost happiness. This will continue for some time, and after some time, the Purusha will realize the truth and break the bond, and he has to go and leave Prakriti alone. That is Rama. So, at some point, this game has to end. One way to interpret is Manishada means don't sit anymore. Yat Krauncha Mithunat, since in the loving couple, Ekam Kamamohitam, the one deluded by desire, that is Purusha. Avadhi, you have understood. Shashvata Sama, Shashvati Sama Pratishtham, the eternal life. Tvam Agamaha, you have attained. Krauncha means crooked. You are moving about crookedly because you are enraptured by the charms of nature. So don't just sit there doing nothing and just getting lost and being trapped in the snares of Prakriti. Get out of it. Be free because you were originally free. So this is one deeper philosophical meaning. So nature's play and the trap, you can get out of the trap. You are no longer bound to her when you get up and walk away, and when you realize your eternal freedom, walking free of the world. This is what charmed Valmiki also, because that was the deeper philosophical meaning. On one hand, he felt pity for the innocent bird and the innocent birds, both of them, and anger at the heartless action of the hunter, which rent his heart. And at the same time, he understood the deeper drama of creation and how Purusha gets bound by Prakriti. And at some point, this game has to end, and Purusha has to realize his eternal freedom. And Vishwa Amitra Yajna, world enemy Yajna, Vishwa Amitra. From Vishwa Amitra Yajna, you must come to Vishwa Mitra Yajna, Vishwamitra, friend of the world. But people have become enemies of the world. Vishwa Amitra Yajna. They are performing Vishwa Amitra Yajna. So you must actually perform Vishwa Mitra Yajna. And when can you perform Vishwa Mitra Yajna? When you give up all selfishness. Okay. These are all deeper philosophical, profound meanings. Ramayana also means Ramasya Ayanam, the movement of Rama. Ramasya Ayanam, the movement of Rama, or the Lord who is now bound by matter. It also means the shifting of joy. Rama means joy. Rama means joy. The shifting of joy, the changing of joy from the world of objects into the spiritual field, and finally getting absorbed in one's own self. So Rama Ayanam, Ramasya Ayanam, the movement of Rama by getting bound in matter, Prakriti, and then this Rama, that is joy personified. Rama means joy, happiness, bliss. Joy personified, unfortunately gets trapped in Prakriti, and from there the journey starts. After going through the vicissitudes of life, finally gets absorbed back in one's own self. This is the whole journey of Rama, which means us. You and I are Rama. We are all fractions of Rama. Ramasya Ayanam. Ramasya Ayanam, the movement of Rama. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says in 3rd chapter 34, Indriyasyendriyartheshu ragadveshau vyavasthithau tayorna vashamagachet tauhyasya paripanthinau. One should never come under the influence of ragadvesha, which abide in the objects of the sense organs, because they are your enemies, the sadhaka's enemies. Indriyasyartheshu. Indriyasyartheshu. Indriyasyarthe ragadvesho vyavasthito. Tayorna vashamagachet. Vasham agachet. Indriyasyarthe ragadvesho vyavasthito. Tayorna vashamagachet. Tauhyasya paripantino. Because they are the enemies. So ragadvesha. These are the demons. Maricha Subahus. So as soon as the pollutions in the yajna of life is the biggest yajna. Then if it is polluted with selfishness, then it becomes Vishwa Amitra Yajna. When all selfishness is removed, then it becomes Vishwa Mitra Yajna. So finally, when Sita leaves, that is the actual ending of the story of Ramayana, or ending of Ramayana. Philosophically, it would mean the manifest Prakriti, because Sita is Mula Prakriti. Sita is not a separate individual from Rama. Sita is the Shakti of Rama. And the manifest Prakriti went back into the unmanifest when Sita leaves. And Purusha ascends to his infinite abode. The show is over. The curtains are down. Do you see? This is the Ramayana. That is what Ramayana is all about. Ramayana is our own story. You are Rama and you are enticed, you are bound, and at some point of time, if Sita, if Prakriti can let you go free, then you can go back. But if you are a wise man, you will detach, go back to your eternal abode, and be absorbed in your own self. Jai Shri Ram.